Welcome, firefighters. I'm so glad you're here. World leaders met at the United Nations headquarters in New York City for 2 weeks to negotiate a strong global ocean treaty that would protect 30% of our planet's oceans by 2030. We're all dying to know what happened. Let's go to Greenpeace Ocean's director and Fire Drill Friday's Oceans correspondent, John Hocevar, to find out.
We don't have a global ocean treaty yet. This meeting was 2 weeks long and it was such a roller coaster. We were really happy to see how many governments by the end of the meeting had agreed to basically the kind of treaty that we would feel pretty good about. The problem was that I think too many governments, especially from the global north, waited right up until the last minute to start being flexible and to really listen to what people from the global south were saying they needed. And it didn't create enough time to finalize all the details. And there are a lot of details. And so the president, the UN president of the assembly, didn't end the meeting. She suspended it. So technically, it's still going. For years, the United States was just opposed to the whole idea of a treaty and were really, really unhelpful. And then they started to say, okay, well, maybe we could have a treaty, but it's got to be a bad treaty. The kind of treaty the US was supporting was really not going to solve anything. So we kept pushing, other countries and other NGOs kept pushing. By the end of the meeting, the US was ready to support the kind of treaty that we need. So we'll see, but the US has come a long way, and that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for so many people contacting the government and saying, look, we want a strong global ocean treaty and we need you to show leadership. And that's made a huge difference. I think the biggest lesson is that people power matters, and we would not have gotten anywhere close to this point if it wasn't for everyone demanding action. Greenpeace has been campaigning to get this treaty for a very long time. We have brought ships from the Arctic to the Antarctic. We've helped mobilize people from all over the world. 5 million people have contacted their governments demanding a strong global ocean treaty. So many creative actions in countries around the world at the UN and past meetings. All of this added up to a completely different situation for these diplomats that are used to just sitting in a dark room with no windows, with no observers, feeling like, whatever we do here, no one's really going to notice, no one's paying attention. But in this case, there was no question that they knew that the whole world is watching, and that makes a big difference. We kicked off the meeting with projection on the Brooklyn Bridge. It was a video from ocean creatures like turtles and whales saying, we are in trouble. You humans, we need your help. We need you to give us a break here. And the treaty is the answer. And that helped create a round of media to set the stage for the talks that right off the bat, people understood. People are paying attention. We were really happy to have Hilla the Killa, an eco-rapper from Brooklyn, join us at the dance rally. And she actually wrote a song just about the ocean treaty for this event. It was amazing.
It's about to be 2023. Where are we going? How many degrees? If the ocean gets hotter, we're about to see how delicate and precious our ecosystem be. Keep the pH in balance. Stop overfishing and mining. Let's have this big wet surface be climate relief. The rainbow reefs are being bleached. Oh no! We gotta stop that. Protect the ocean!
A little bit sassier than your average Greenpeace event, which I thought was great. Very, very colorful, featuring drag queens and 15-foot tall seahorses and mermaids. There were messages from frontline leaders.
We are in this position because the people who are trying to make a decision, they are not even capable of doing it.
This kind of emotional roller coaster is exhausting, and the result obviously was devastating. I mean, we know how urgent this is, and watching these governments just dither is brutal when we know what needs to happen. I think it took all of us a few days to recover, and now we're back in fighting shape. It's like, okay, let's get this done. Didn't do it the first time around, the second time around, but now it's time. And so we want to bring everyone back to meet before the end of the year and get this done. It's hard for people to imagine a different world, and it's hard for them to not just think about protecting their own industry. But we have to, all of us, we have to think bigger than that, or we're in real trouble. I mean, that kind of thinking, that approach has not worked very well for us as a planet. The first scientists, indigenous people, and fishers that helped us understand our oceans wouldn't even recognize them today. We have done so much damage. We've decimated the coastal mangrove forests and seagrass beds. Bottom trawling has damaged and destroyed so much of the seafloor habitats on our continental shelves. We've eaten most of the large fish all across the world's oceans. There's really no time to waste. This is the moment where we have to step up, come together, and change the way that we do things. We need a fully protected network of ocean sanctuaries to give our oceans a chance.
Thank you, John, for walking us through what happened. Finalizing a treaty is critical to help protect at least 30% of the world's oceans. But we're battling ocean protection on other fronts as well, like shutting down the future threat of deep sea mining that would be devastating for the deep sea. Click the link in the chat to take action. Next Friday, we're talking about Joe Manchin's dirty deal and what you can do to stop it. Don't forget to tune in at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, right here. Have a wonderful weekend. See you next time.